Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Danish Hakim bin Ahmad, and I am from DHI 5A. And in this video, I'm going to present about the halal control point from our project, which is from our halal assurance system, or we call it as HAS manual. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to mention about 3 points, which is the first one is about the halal control point, about how to identify the HCP in our product, and then number 2, I'm going to talk about the halal control point plan summary from our project, and then number 3, the outcomes from what I have learned in completing this HAS manual project. The first content is about to identify the halal control point, or we call it as identifying the HCP. In identifying the halal control point, there are several steps that we need to do to know whether there is a HCP in our process flow or not. And then the first step that we need to do is to do analysis at the HCP worksheet. So what is HCP worksheet? The HCP worksheet is a table that we need to fill in to know that whether our process flow, which is from the A to Z, are we similar with from the receiving the raw material until the distribution of our finished good product to the customer. So all the process we need to ensure that whether this process have a rational activities or anything that can contaminate our product, that can change our status, our product status from halal to haram. And this process is included from the halal aspects and also the thayyiban aspects. In this HCP worksheet, we need to list all of the contaminant potential that can happen to the product, and then after we have identified what can disturb our product, that can change the status from halal to haram, we need to do a ranking, which is the severity ranking, and then the likelihood ranking, and also we need to categorize whether the process is a HCP part or no. Alright, next, the second step is we need to identify all the halal threats that can contaminate our product, and also that can change our product status from halal to haram. And then there are 4 halal threats that we need to know, which is the first one is the material, and then number 2, the people, and number 3, the equipment or the machine, and then the last one is the environment. The example of the halal threats regarding the 4 matters before. So the first one is about the material. So what are the example of the material that can contaminate or that can be categorized as a halal threat? For the material, we can see the example at the receiving area, which is when the driver deliver our product, which is our raw material. For example, we are making banana chips, so that we need to buy or purchase a banana from our supplier. Then the driver deliver it with the same lorry that deliver other non-halal materials such as pork product, alcoholic beverages, or alcoholic product. In this item, that we can see our material, which is the banana, can be contaminated because we didn't know what happened while the driver is deliver our product, our raw material to us. So that we need to do corrective action, that which is we need to reject the material and ask for a new one. And also we need to give a warning letter to the delivery service to make sure that the same mistake will not happen again, and we ask them to segregate our raw material from non-halal material to ensure our halalan thayyiban aspect becomes great. And then number 2 is about the people. What is the example for the people in this halal threat item? For the people, we can see, for example, the driver bring in the non-halal material with him. For example, the driver, while he delivering our raw material to us, which is to our production area, the driver bring a dog with him. So this is, as we know, dog is a najis mughalazah, and this can contaminate our product. Or maybe the dog can run out from the lorry, and the possibility for the dog to come into our processing area is high. Or other, we can see whether our workers bring food such as haram food, for example, alcoholic beverages, pork food, or others to the processing area. So this is, we can categorize it as a example for the people in the halal threat item. And then number 3, we need to make sure which is the equipment or machine is used with halal item. For example, the processing aid. What is processing aid? Processing aid is the thing that we use to make sure our production process becomes smooth. For example, we have a machine and then the machine needs a lubricant oil, or maybe we use the lubricant oil and we use a brush we use the brush with the lubricant oil to our machine. So we need to make sure whether the brush is made from halal sources. For example, in this era, most of the brush will use pig hair, so we need to prevent to use it. So make sure our brush is make sure our brush is come from halal sources, and also the lubricant oil is also comes from halal sources and didn't use non-halal material in it. And then number 4, we need to make sure the environment in our plant area is safe and is safe, and also not be the potential to risk our halalan and tayyiban aspect. For example, our plant was located at the rural area, so that maybe the area was have a lot of dogs or maybe a wild boar near our plant area. So if our plant or our factory near with all the dogs, maybe the dogs can come in and loitering or do any prohibited action in our processing area. So we need to prevent the dog to come to our process area. So it is important for us to always make sure the gate is always closed, and we need to make sure the security guard need to make sure our processing area is safe and not contaminated with any mughalazah item. The third step, or the third item in identifying the HCP is we need to do a ranking or a likelihood ranking. The likelihood level has 3, which is the first one is likely, and then number 2, the medium level, is the moderate, and then number 3 is unlikely. We can use an example which is maybe the receiving part. Maybe the receiving part, the driver deliver our raw material, which is our banana, to us, and then the driver maybe bring in the dog with him before. So this is maybe even the driver has received a lot of warning from us, but he still do it again and again. So this is we can categorize it as a likely level, because it has happened for a lot of times. For moderate, it has happened. We have heard that the incident has happened, but it's not always happened. But it has happened, but not always. Yes. And then number 3 is unlikely, which is it has never happened before. After we have completed the likelihood ranking, we need to do the severity ranking. Same as before, it has 3 levels, which is the highest one is critical, and then number 2, the medium ranking, is moderate. Number 3, the insignificant level, which is the lowest ranking. And then which is for the critical ranking, I can describe it as the incident happened have a potential that can contaminate our product, which is can change the status from halal to haram, and it happened like a lot, so it will be ranked as critical. For moderate, same with critical, but it is happened, but not as much as the critical level. After we have completed the two ranking, which is the likelihood ranking and also the severity ranking, we can mark or we can conclude the answer by combine the both ranking, which is the likelihood ranking and also the severity ranking. For example, from this table, as we can see, the severity ranking is critical, and then the likelihood ranking is likely. So it will be marked as high, and the mark is 9. Which is the highest mark is 9, and also the 9 can be considered as a HCP, and we need to do a control measure or corrective action to make sure that the product will be produced smoothly and not change the status. So this is the example, the example of ranking, which is from the lowest and to the high, which is the 9. And then the last part, at the HCP worksheet, we need to provide a control measure. For example, I will use the same process, which is at the receiving process. For receiving process, I have mentioned that maybe that the company has the ranking for 9, which is we has categorized it as HCP part. And then all we need to do is first one, we need to make sure the security officer do an inspection for the visitor or to the workers that comes to the plant or to the processing area, and we need the security guard to help us to do inspection to make sure that the people that comes to our production area did not bring a prohibited item to our production area. Regarding the prohibited item, we also can put a signage or put rules at front in front of our gate or the doors, and list all the prohibited items that cannot be allowed to bring to the production area. For example, the people cannot bring alcoholic beverages or the pork or any non-halal material or any item that can contaminate our product, whether in the halal aspect or the toyiban aspects. So that's all about the how to identify the HCP to the product. So now let's move on to the second item, which is the halal control point plan summary on our product, which is my product is based from the company that produce banana chips, which is named as Man Keripik Pisang. For the banana chips, we have three halal control point or HCP that we have identified from the project. So I will start with the first HCP, which is from the receiving part, or the first, which is the first part or the first step from the process flow. So at the receiving, we have identified that the company have received for maybe several times, which is they have received a rotten banana, which is it will disturb the Toyoban aspects, because we cannot we cannot provide or we cannot produce the banana chip using a rotten banana, so because it will make the product or it will make our consumer become sick, because maybe because of food poisoning or else. So all we need to do, or which is we call it as corrective action, we need to make sure the raw material that we receive is safe and also can be used to produce our product. We need to make sure we have a agreement or contract from our supplier to make sure we need to receive the good or the good quality of banana, and make sure the banana is delivered with segregated lorry, which is not same with the lorry that's deliver any non-halal materials such as alcoholic beverages or pork product. The second HCP is about the cutting process, which is while we are producing the banana chips, before this the workers has cut their fingers, because we do the cutting and frying at the same time, which is we cut and the banana that has been cut will drop automatically to the frying machine. So before this, workers have cut the banana, but at the same time the workers accidentally cut their fingers. So from the cut at the fingers, the blood drop to the frying oil. So it will be the frying oil will contaminate with the blood, which is, as we know, people cannot eat blood because it is haram for us. And then all we need to do, or the corrective action that we need to do, is to make sure all the workers wear a glove while they do the cutting process. And then the last HCP, which is the halal control point number 3, which is the frying process that was related to the cutting process, is when the blood mixed with the frying oil. So the corrective action that we need to do is to compose the oil that has contaminated with the blood, and then compose it with the right way, and then we need to change the frying oil to a new one with a brand new oil. So then we can continue the process from cutting to until the last part. Alright, that is all about the item number 2, which is the HCP plan summary list. And then let's move on to the last part, which is the outcomes, or what I have learned from this assignment. So the important thing that I've learned from this assignment, which is the development of HAS manual. I have learned that how to develop a halal assurance system manual, and how to manage the documents. In this HAS manual, I also have learned on how to develop the SOP, the records, the plan layout, and more, and also how to manage from A to Z with the real way. And then next, I have also learned that this is how the industrial or the halal industry works, which is I have do a site visit to the real company, which is the Man Keripik Pisang, and then I have learned on how the process all the process from A to Z, which is from the receiving until the distribution. The owner of the factory teach us a lot of things that we can implement it onto this assignment, or we can use it also at the industrial area and in our future. And then the last one is I have learned on how to communicate with people. This assignment is a grouping work, so I have learned on how to do my work with my teammates, and we have assigned the works properly, and we need to do our parts, and then we need to do some discussion to make sure that this assignment is do correctly and perfect. So that is all I have learned from this assignment. I think that is all from this video. Thank you.